Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard episode 112. We're calling this one Hitting for the Hobby Cycle, and we're back on Crosstown Cardboard after a couple months off. We're ready to talk about the singles, doubles, triples, and home runs that we've hit, just like Tony Gwynn. And I'm Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the sports reporter down here in Greenville, South Carolina. And then we have Craig at New York City Sports Cards, the math teacher and soccer coach, originally from Long Island, but now in New York City. And Craig, as we always like to do, we have you explaining what hitting for the hobby cycle talks about. And also, another element of this cycle is that I've had several people on Instagram who I've talked to recently asking when we're going to come out with the next episode right before we decided to record this week. So, right on time, the cycles come around. We're recording again. Excited to be back on the mic, talk about several different hobby developments, including PC cards for me, a big digital sale, few lots purchased. You have a collection that you're going to talk about, a job update in the hobby shop, how your life is changing, a map that you came up with. But first, I want you to please explain for our faithful viewers and listeners why we eventually, through a little discussion, came up with the title Hitting for the Hobby Cycle.
It is a double entendre because
Mm,
we first coming up with the title and we're like, things are kind of cyclical in the hobby. And I like this particular definition of cyclical. Thank you, Cambridge Dictionary, for that. Having a regular pattern of successful periods or increases, followed by less successful periods or reductions. I know we're not no groundbreaking information here, but just think about the cycles of participating in the hobby. I think you and I are both experiencing that, but also hitting for the cycle in terms of baseball, which baseball season's right around the corner.
hmm
What does hitting for the cycle mean? You hit a single, a double, a triple, a home run. You hit them all. And
hmm
I feel like, at least with me personally, a little bit of you as well, as far as different ways we can be participating in this hobby right now, I'm touching them all. So there's a double meaning there. Um, but you're going to kick us off with how it's going because as far as cycles, you're having one of those successful periods right now, it seems like. So why don't you get into it?
Yeah, I feel good about that, Craig, and thanks for saying that because since college football season ended, really one of the original reasons we took that podcast pause was we were so busy with our work and some personal life stuff as well. So for me, with the college football season ending, I've had some time to get back up in this new cycle of having more time and investing some of that time into the hobby space. So I picked up two PC cards since the last time we talked. One of those, I've found out, your quotation marks speak for themselves, that you may have some criticism for me, which is fine. So I'm looking forward to answering some of those difficult questions. But first, I want to show you, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but this is a PC card that I got from Basketball Card Paradise, David Woods, one of the very well respected high end flippers in the hobby, and he always has great cards for sale. Check this out here, this National Treasures Clutch Factor game used chunky letter patch, Larry Bird, numbered out of 10 with the on card auto. So really cool here, and I really liked it. I bought it for 750. And just anytime it has that extra letter element to it with the chunky patch and just a really nice card to hold as far as the appearance in hand, you could tell that that would be something that I would like to collect.
My immediate reaction when I saw that is it pairs really nicely with your flawless 101,
Oh,
just in terms of aesthetic. And
great
obviously, when we
point.
think of the premier brands in the hobby, in sports cars, National Treasures, Flawless, they're obviously up there with the best of them. So that'll be nice to pair those two together.
Yes.
Um,
Let me go grab that real quick while you talk about the bird pickup.
right on. So uh, you paid 750 for that?
Yeah.
Love it. Straight buy. Any comps on something like that, or it didn't even matter to you?
No, it
You
was
know the market well enough that you're like, you know what? I kind of roughly know what these go for. Let me just spit out a number here.
yeah, I feel like that was well, he had it at 900 and then 800 and which I thought was pretty fair. There's no comps out of 10, but there's some sales around 20 of the out of 25 version. But then you're comparing like a napkin patch versus a letter patch and out of 25 versus out of 10. And so that got a little bit, difficult. So, and then I compared it to some flawless sales. So I would say flawless is a little bit more desirable than the national treasures, especially clutch
For
factor for
show.
some reason. Clutch factor doesn't hold the same value
Hmm.
for some reason, even though it's usually, chunky game used patches. But I thought that was a good value for me. So I picked out the Bird one of one flawless game used patch auto that you mentioned that it pairs really nicely with.
Mm,
So
like that.
yeah.
The nuances in the sports card hobby are so difficult to explain to someone who's not in
Right.
it.
Right.
Like this card is more valuable than the clutch factor one, even though they're like the same thing. But we just accept these things for what they are.
Yeah. So you have to do your own hobby math, and then it comes down to, the out of 25 versus out of 10 versus a napkin patch versus a chunky letter patch, and then how much do you want this card is what it ends up coming down to, at the end. So yeah, it pairs really nicely and just a cool one to add to the collection. You don't see that many like this is another,
Hmm.
reason. So
It's
um,
the only downside to collecting bird, if you're a patch collector, is you're limited on how chunky and sexy a patch could be because it's two colors, right?
yes,
So
some
I
of
would
them have
say
the yellow. Some very few have
okay.
the yellow in there. But yes,
So,
it's
but
almost always two colors.
considering that, you those are just about as good as it can get as far as a bird patch, I
Right.
think.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm excited about those. And then the one that you have a few questions about
Mm,
is
mm.
is this Panini Classics 0910, and it's on the front, it's a sticker auto of Larry Bird with the two color patch, small patch window, but it's still very nice. And on the back, it's Magic Johnson sticker auto with a two color patch. So it's a very unique. I had never seen this card before with Bird patch auto on the front, Magic patch auto on the back, numbered out of 25. And what is your criticism that you have for me?
Well, let's start positive first. What I love
Oh,
about
okay.
that is that
Okay.
that came from 2009, 2010 Classics, which was the first year Panini had the NBA license. So that was
Hmm.
Steph Curry's rookie year. They made a lot of really good products. If there was 1 year worth of products that I could open, it might be 2009, 2010, not just for it being Curry's rookie year, but the variety of products that Panini offered.
Hmm.
Now here's my problem with it is you posted that, I would say about a week ago, and it was posted amongst other cards, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, did say available.
Yes.
And you posted that as an official post on your Instagram earlier this evening
Yeah.
with the caption new addition to the PC. So my
Yes.
question for you is, are you devaluing the term PC?
Wow. I didn't think it was gonna go all the way to that, but um, I think I had hit a single when I got this for a potential flip, and then I realized it's actually a home run for my PC. So I changed it up. I had hit something else for the cycle, and I was showing my girlfriend the cards that I picked up, and when I started talking about it out loud and looking at it and realizing as a bird and magic, mainly bird, but as it relates to magic, I'll get cards of him as well. Collector, I realized I might never see anything like this again. There's only been one public sale. Like you said, first year Panini had the basketball license. And so, to also pay an ode to the name of the card brand, I had a classic confrontation, which is the name of this set, between is it going to be
Mm.
PC? Is it going to be a flip? And when I started explaining it, I realized even though it is a sticker auto, but with the front and back coolness of these two guys, two of my favorites, I mean, I guess really my two favorites, I realized, you know what? Let me put this in the PC because it's got that cool factor, and it's something that I don't have in my PC right now. Although I do have Bird and Magic dual autos, I don't have anything front and back like this. So yeah, I changed my mind. That's basically what happened.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, a question I've been asking myself a lot with my cards that I pick up or, decide to sell is, will I be able to find this again? Can
Hmm.
I get this card back if I sell it? I
Right.
don't think you'll ever find that one again. Although it's out of
Yeah.
25 and I do have 5 copies of that. Oh shoot, I forgot to talk about that. We'll have to add that in later.
Okay. We'll have to add that in
Yeah.
to your Knicks portion. Do you want to get into that? Your potential Knicks collection that you're purchasing?
Yeah. We could talk about it.
All right.
So, because I don't have it in hand yet, I don't want to really talk about the cards. I'll show one card,
Okay.
but I had made a deal probably maybe 6 months ago with my guy Sergio, who is an NBA content creator. Like, I actually think he works for the NBA,
Okay.
with the NBA. Yeah, he does. Sergio Andres, and his card account on Instagram is SERNBA cards. He's
Hmm.
from Spain. He's a big New York Knicks collector. I did purchase a Jalen Brunson Gold Select from 22 with Brunson doing his signature move
Yeah.
about six months ago, and he ended up not shipping it to me from Spain. He was at the Dallas Card Show, so he waited to get to the U.S. to then ship it to me. So I
Okay.
appreciate the effort he took to do that. So he had a story sale recently with a bunch of really nice Knicks cards, and I purchased a Jalen Brunson Noir 3-color game used patch out of 25, and it actually has the date of which game it came from. It was a November game in 2022 versus the Sixers. Cost me like $100. So before I made the purchase, I'm like, hey, are you gonna, are you gonna be in the States anytime soon?
Hmm.
And he's like, yes, actually, I'm gonna be in New York City the first week of March. So I'm like, amazing. We'll set up a time to
Wow.
meet up. I'll meet you in person. You'll bring the card and all that. So about a week before he's in New York City right now. We're supposed to meet up on Friday. We're recording this Wednesday night. About a week ago, he's like, "Look, I'm bringing all of these Knicks cards with me. I'm trying to buy, cards of certain Spain players. I'm really trying to sell this whole lot." And the whole lot is he was asking 1,500,
Okay.
which really was a fantastic deal. So I ran the numbers and everything. We ended up meeting at like 1475, and I'm like, you got a deal at 1475, but it is a handshake agreement. A man is only as good as his word. So I'm not going to pay you right now. I've already paid you for the Brunson. That's a done deal. Handshake agreement, 1475 for the 15 card lot. I
Hmm.
will pay you upon meeting you and you hand me the cards, which I think is very reasonable.
Oh yeah.
So we have a plan to meet on my lunch break on Friday at a Starbucks. We'll make the deal. And here's one card that's in it. I don't want to show everything. This, even though this is the best card, just because I don't like to jinx it until it's in hand. But it
Okay.
is a National Treasures Patrick Ewing 101 patch.
Wow.
Look at that.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, amongst obviously some other Knicks things, this is definitely the best of the lot. But this is going to be one of those cards where the way I look at it as, am I selling this to recoup my funds? Oh, you love the
Oh,
double card.
oh, hold on. Get the screen back lit. We got to get the thumbnail. Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
oh, it's lit.
Okay, we got
So, so that's one of those cards where, am I selling this to recoup the funds? Because ultimately that is, even though I love the Knicks, I'm buying this to hopefully make a little money and be able to keep some stuff. Or am I going to sell the rest
it. Ooh.
to the point where I'm in this for free,
Ooh.
essentially?
Ooh. So it's really just either the Ewing, keeping the Ewing one of one patch and selling everything else, or keeping some of what you have and selling the Ewing patch.
I'm going to sell off the lower end stuff first and then kind of just see how I'm feeling. But here's the nice thing is that I'm really at this point in my life, which we'll get into later. I'm not trying to put a lot of new money into the hobby.
Yeah.
It's just not where I'm at. Again, we'll touch upon that later. So I'm like, well, I better go sell some stuff.
Hmm.
So I ran a story sale and I'm setting up at a show in Brooklyn on March 30th. So my plan was I had all this inventory building up. I was gonna save it for then. I'm like, well, why save it if I could sell it now? So
Right.
in a matter of 2 days, I did $1,000 worth of sales
Wow.
to pay for 2/3 of the lot. The rest of the money I'll take out of savings. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that lot in person, meeting Sergio in person. Pretty cool that I'll be able to connect with a collector from Spain, a block from my school, who is also a New York Knicks fan.
Yeah.
So hoping everything works out. No reason that it shouldn't. And that's that. So I'll let
Wow.
you know once I get that collection in hand what that looks like. There's some Brunsons in there. There's some Mellows. There's some Ewings. So yeah, excited to get a hold of all that.
Okay, so maybe we'll have that for our next cycle of recording Crosstown
Mhm.
Cardboard. Before you move on, Craig, that 1475, what percentage of comps? I mean, on the Patrick Ewing, that's difficult to value, but
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
what did you think that was for 15 cards?
He that was what he comped everything at 70%. And
Wow,
I
that's
it's
nice.
great. It's amazing. So I ran the numbers and I thought that was very accurate and fair. So yeah, I there wasn't really that much negotiation.
Well, when you offer a lot of cards that you like of your team for
Yeah.
70%, yeah, that's
Yeah.
wow, that's great. That speaks to the relationships in the hobby of creating something like that,
Hmm.
where it's just so easy and somebody wants to give you a good deal just to, make that happen quick.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to pick up a lot. That's a good deal of stuff of like cool cards, but to get that opportunity to pick up a lot of your favorite team and the types of cards you like of your
Hmm.
favorite team,
Hmm.
it was just yeah, these things kind of just happen.
Yeah, that's true. What was the value of that Patrick Ewing if you can hold it up again? That's that's a nice card. Wow.
I believe there was a sale on it for like 330, and when he valued it at like 450, but when I ran the numbers myself to be conservative, I valued it at 300. And
Yeah.
so even with the 300 value, it would all worked out. It all worked
Yeah.
out.
That seems like a good value for that.
And
Uh,
anywhere in the 3 to 450 range, I think is reasonable.
yeah, yeah. So speaking of those sales, Craig,
Mm.
um, actually we were on the Knicks topic. Let me talk about this other pickup that you got of your favorite Knicks dual card of all time. Can you mention that because now you have what, five of these out of 25?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I am gonna have to go get them, so you could fill the dead air for the next 30 seconds while I get these cards.
Okay, so for our faithful Crosstown Cardboard viewers and listeners, Craig has developed an itch that he needs to scratch with this Bernard King, Walt Clyde Frazier dual patch autograph that he has somehow located many of during the time of Crosstown Cardboard. In fact, four of them out of 25. He has now found a fifth one and purchased it. And I'm trying to figure out how these Knicks cards, specifically this dual patch auto, is like a magnet to find him, let alone for him to purchase it. So now he has acquired, I'm not a math teacher, but I believe that's 1/5 of the total number of cards that exist of this card out there in the world. And you can't sell any of them now. I mean,
Yeah, no.
you just have to keep racking them up.
Yeah, and there is a sixth on eBay that's way overpriced. But
Okay.
um, Walt Frazier is my favorite Knicks player of all time. Bernard King is my dad's favorite Knicks player of all time. I love patches. I love autographs. I love the mid 2000s Upper Deck set.
Hmm.
So this is from we talked about this on here before. This
Hmm.
cards,
Right.
2006, 2007 Upper Deck SP game used. It's a Walt Frazier, Bernard King, dual game used chunky patch autographs, numbered out of 25. Sticker auto, but hey, not everything can be perfect. So
Right.
now we got one, two, three, four, and the most recent in a PSA 8, which I'll probably end up cracking, five.
Wow. Why crack it just to match with the others?
Yeah, come on, we can't have four raw and one graded. That's just
What if you get the next four that are graded?
then I'll crack them.
Okay.
Yeah, just like to me, this is my perfect card. Maybe I'm a little selfish for hoarding them, but hey, when you like it, you like it.
I think that
Sue me.
the one in the PSA label might be the nicest one yet with the patches. No?
The Bernard King
Oh
is
yeah.
not
Yeah, you're
much
right.
going on for it there, but
You're right.
yeah, it's just fun to own these all. It's a card I just
That's
don't
ridiculous.
get sick of looking at.
That's ridiculous. That's great though. I'm happy you're racking them up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the Knicks. We got our Knicks fixed there. So I wanted to touch on my biggest digital sale ever yet. It was 2 days. It was on Facebook, one post, and Instagram. The total sales revenue was $7,100. That's why it was my biggest sale. We talked about this. I sent you the pictures, in between our recordings.
Yeah, yeah, you're still using the notebook system. Love it.
Yes, yes. Here's my notebook system if you're watching
Hey,
on the YouTube.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I just like it because it adds to the childlike, innocent not that serious level of doing it where you're like, you're just all alone, writing in your notebook and
Oh, dude, I've given up on the spreadsheet. Given up.
really?
Given up. I'm not transacting enough to do it, but continue.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so I got the notebook here if you're watching on the YouTube. And so 7,100 in sales. My investment into that was $5,655. So that means my profit was $1,445, which came out to a profit percentage of 20.35%, which,
Okay.
like we were talking about, hitting for the cycle, I wouldn't call that a home run. Maybe it was a double,
Double, double.
or maybe it was a single and then I stole second. I'm not sure. But it wasn't anything crazy. It was like our Tony Gwynn, one of our crosstown cardboard patented phrases that you came up with. Getting hits, getting on base, and then, getting up to bat again and getting hits, getting on base again. Doesn't have to be a home run. So, yeah, I would say 20.35% profit was good on $7,100 of sales. It was almost $1,500 profit. And this was 18 cards total. It was nine different deals, and it was five of those deals were one card deals, two of those deals were two card deals, one deal was four cards, and one deal was five cards. So you had the cycle there. You had all different types of deals going down. And like I said, some on Instagram, some on Facebook, and it really reinvigorated my confidence in what I was getting, the type of cards that I was buying that people would be interested in, type of players, on card autos, game used patches, Hall of Fame guys. I even had a soccer card in there, a Neymar Prism auto.
I'm shocked you profited on that.
Why is that?
He's just kind of irrelevant now. But so, if anything, I'm impressed that you were able to do
Oh,
so.
okay. I thought to me, being outside of the soccer world, he's like an all-time legend of our era.
I guess I'm speaking with recency bias, so that's
Okay.
valid.
Okay. No Lamine Yamal in this lot.
Thank God.
So that was good. But yeah, so just wanted to put that out there that it wasn't a home run, but it was just steady, and a lot of these cards had been sitting in my case for a while, and it was just the right buyer came along for some of them, or it was packaged into a deal with other cards. And then since then, I've really reinvested. Like of that $7,100, I've probably put like $5,000 back in to buying new stuff. And also, you're gonna like this, Craig. My profit on that, like I said, was $1,445. My cost for my two new PC cards, the Larry Bird Clutch Factor Patch Auto and the front and back Magic and Larry Bird Patch Auto, was just under that at 1425.
Hmm.
So that was basically my entire profit from that 18 card sale that went back into two PC cards. So I figured you would like that math breakdown
I do like
and
that.
and the collection side of it.
So to be clear, the hobby money is staying in the hobby.
Yes. Thankfully
Okay.
I don't need to take any out, but
It's a good position to be in.
that might change as my life goals change.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about that next. But before we do, a lot of the cards, and I messaged you about this, that you sold, I've seen you list on Facebook before and get crickets. And then you just had this massive sale. Like, what changed? You listed the same cards the same way with your same format. What changed?
That's a great question, Craig. I think I listed my Instagram and Facebook sales a little bit earlier in the day. So usually I list them at like 6 o'clock at night Eastern. This one was around between 3 and 4 o'clock Eastern. So I'm not sure if that gave it a little more time to marinate for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or if you're on the West Coast, even more hours for people to see it when they get off work on Instagram and Facebook. Maybe that was a factor. I did lower some of my prices on some cards to make them more competitive, and I had a few cards that were a little bit more unique that you don't see that often. So, like I had a Dr. J Master Collection from
Hmm.
2000. That was really cool. I had the Neymar Prism World Cup on card auto. So, I had a Kevin Durant first year Prism auto on card, which was pretty cool. But I was
That
shocked that I sold my Tom Brady game used patch, one of one from Topps Unique, and I sold that for $3,550, and I was into it for 3,000, which isn't great percentage wise, but dollar amount wise, it's I mean, for
That's
me,
pretty good.
that's really good.
That's a pretty good percentage.
I think it's less than 20% though.
Yeah,
500.
that's really good. We're selling cards here. All
Yeah,
right.
okay,
The
okay.
fact that like any percentage is
But it was,
that's great work.
it was lower than the average of my sale, which was 20.35%, that Brady. But yeah, I'm not trying to brag here, but I did feel good about that one.
Show off.
So a couple of the cards, I doubled my money on two different cards, a Larry Bird and a Shaq autograph. So those are my two biggest winners percentage wise. So and then the other factor is just keeping knocking at the door, and eventually somebody's going to answer. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite phrases with my dad. So
Great.
I think there were a bunch of different smaller factors that combined, and then just probably luck and good timing that um, maybe people had some more money to spend after Christmas, after the holiday season. So that probably played into it too. But yeah, biggest digital card sale that I've done, which was just over $7,000. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you saw when I posted a small story sale last week. Did you catch a glimpse of that at all?
hmm
I sold mostly everything on there, and I found it super beneficial to post the card. And you saw that I posted a little snippet of the comps right
yeah,
next to it. Like it's like,
yeah,
hey, let's cut out the BS. You're gonna look up the comps anyway. Here you go. Here they are. And here's how my price compares to the comps. Sales were easy. There was
yeah.
almost no negotiating on my sales.
And maybe you even got people to get interested in your cards who maybe wouldn't have if they're in a quick pinch for time, or if they're not feeling like they want to do some investigating at that moment, do some research. You made it so easy for them to just look, oh, that seems like a good
Yep.
deal. Bam. So that was
Yeah,
smart.
and two cards that I sold, there were cards that I didn't think I would, was that 1954 Jackie Robinson and a
hmm
1956 Jackie Robinson, because I had this idea that I was going to build the 1952, 3, 4, 5, 6 Jackie Robinson print
Yep.
run. And then
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? This is a 1956 Jackie Robinson and SGC 1-5 and a 54 Jackie Robinson and a PSA 1. I can get these cards at any time, right? Your bird magic is
Yeah.
irreplaceable. These are very replaceable. So if I
Yeah.
ever want to try to build that print run down the line, the hardest one's going to be 52. I'm not going to sell my 53 because the eye appeal is too good. If I ever somehow down the line get a 52 Jackie, then I could rebuy the 5456.
Yeah.
So I thought the Jackie Robinsons and the low grades were going to be cards I'd keep for a while. And then I'm like, wait, I need to free up some cash. So I sold those no problem.
Yeah, and that's a great lesson too, the different cycles of what you want to collect at that time. So you thought that that was going to be your cycle, and then the cycle changed because something else came up. You have to recoup some funds and put it into that Knicks collection. So nothing is permanent, it seems
For
like, in the
sure.
hobby.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, great transition to the next thing I want to talk about. And I'll kind of just touch upon this briefly is that I would say since we started the podcast until we paused
hmm
during that 2 years, almost 3 years,
Yeah.
2 years,
Two,
2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Just through our conversations, I was teaching, I was coaching soccer, flipping cards. And then a lot of that was because, my wife was in school, as we've talked about. So
hmm
I was hustling just to like kind of pay the bills. Now, as you know, my wife's working full time. I'm not coaching travel soccer anymore. I still do like private lessons. All of this free time, all this time for me has freed up, especially on the weekends and at nights. And you would think with more free time would be more time to go to shows, buy and sell cars, but it's actually been quite the opposite. And I've really enjoyed it thoroughly because personally in my life, as my wife and I think about the next phase of our life, I realized that if I have any, or we, because it's joint finances, have any extra disposable income every month, which we do, for
hmm
me personally, I'm not putting that money into new cards. That money is going into savings. And
hmm
that's just where I am at in life right now. That was not the case the last few years because, I was using side hustling for hobby money to pay bills essentially, along with building my collection. Now I'm at the point, like I said, if I have extra money this month, it's not going to buy new cards, it's going to save. I'm still having my fun. I'm buying little things here and there, but I don't want, for me personally, where I'm at in life, my current cycle,
Yeah.
don't want money tied up in cards when that money could just be in savings, growing a little bit. So yeah, that's why I'm very fortunate to have this part-time job at the card shop where I could still build my inventory, but it's not costing me any of my disposable income.
Hmm. So, what was the difficult decision where you're in this cycle of life where you're mostly saving, and then this opportunity comes up with the Knicks lot to put $1,500 into that? Was that just hobby money and not savings money, or how did you
It's a valid
decide that?
question.
Yeah.
Really good question.
Well, I
Really,
just
really.
wanted to bring that up
Yeah,
because
no.
the PC card that used to be available for me. So, the different cycles that end up
Yeah.
changing.
No, it's a great question because here I am talking about how I'm not trying to put any of my disposable income into hobby at this point. Oh, here's a $1,500 lot. Let me get
Right.
it.
Right.
One, I was very, very, very confident because of the deal I was getting, I would be able to make that back.
Right.
But that is why I put up this story sale. And I said, I'm going to try to sell as much as possible to pay for this lot so that I don't have to take out any personal funds.
Hmm.
And I was able to sell two-thirds of the cost of the lot. And then I took out five, $600 from savings. But I'm so confident because of the deal I got, I'll be able to make my money back on the lot and some.
Okay.
And like I said, I sold cards that were in my inventory anyway, stuff that I've just kind of been building up over the months from I don't really know where. Just cars I've gotten from the shop that I work at, or maybe little buys here and there. I'm not putting too much money into it. The opportunity was too good to pass up,
Hmm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to like scouring Facebook sales or story sales. Like, oh, like, that's a cool card. Maybe I'll be able to flip that and make something. This one is really more of a certainty.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. That leads me into a pickup that I had because you talk about the hobby connection that enabled you to get this 15 card Knicks lot at a good price. I got a 3 card Magic Johnson lot from my guy Dave in Australia,
Dave, Dave,
and we've
Dave,
done
Dave.
it.
Yeah, 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 I know.
His real name is not Dave. He's only one Dave, but that is his real name, his real first name. You know what? Come to think of it, I didn't ask if his middle name's Dave. So,
You think there's a Dave out there? First name Dave, middle name Dave? Like anyone?
probably.
You think though?
Or probably David, I would say just a little bit. That's more a little bit more of a last name.
Last name Davidson.
Davidson.
Dave Davidson.
Dave.
Okay.
What about David Davidson? Just slowly growing.
Nice.
All right.
Like
Well,
our collections.
great point. So now back to the cards. So it's magic that we've gotten back here. But anyway, so I got this 3 card magic lot from Dave, unconfirmed full name, but it's so this is a card that I used to have, this Ultimate Collection signature patches numbered 1 out of 25
Is that a
Magic
game worn
Johnson.
patch?
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
0405 Ultimate Collection. It's only one color, but it's still pretty nice.
I mean, it has to be one color. How else is he gonna sign it?
Well, it could be 3 colors and then one color is a little bit more prominent
No.
enough for the
Looks
signature. No?
looks way cleaner that way.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. I'm happy I bought it. So I got that, which is funny because I actually sold Dave this card at one point,
Same
and
one,
now
same copy.
same exact card, yeah. And now I'm buying it back from him because what he does, which I really like and speaks to our hobby connection, when he wants to buy a bigger Magic Johnson card, a lot of times he comes to me because he knows that I usually have enough cash to buy the cards that he's offloading and that I also enjoy Magic Johnson and we have a relationship built up. It'll be easier. Not that he doesn't shop them around on his story sale as well, but he'll message me, which I really appreciate, and then we'll usually talk something out. Or we'll just respectfully say, you know what, we're too far apart on that and move on those cards. So he had like 5 or 6 he wanted to sell, and these 3 we were close on, so we made a good deal on them. So I got this one, the Ultimate Collection Patch Auto from 0405, 20-year-old card. I mean,
Wow.
it's only,
I can't believe we're talking about upper deck basketball cards that like we used to collect now being 20 years old. Damn, life.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. That was a different cycle ago for sure. So, speaking of Upper Deck, how about this exquisite 0607 Magic Johnson autograph numbered out of 25? I mean, come on, exquisite. You know, that's
Clean, clean.
that's
So
that's super. I was explaining to my girlfriend, exquisite, pre-Panini is my favorite brand, and then flawless post-Panini. you
And
know. But you have to factor in national treasures as far as top of the list, and then immaculate probably right after that. But
yeah, and I'm sure she cared.
seemed like it, seemed like it at the time. But no, she's good about when she can tell I'm really into it, then she pays attention at least for that moment. She made a card joke actually today. So using exquisite and flawless, so she got a free dinner out of that one. But
Nice.
you have to play your cards right in this hobby, if you will. But
That was
anyway, so
that was okay. Keep going.
okay, sorry, back to business. I'm a intermittent podcaster. We're not doing this every week now. So this is the final one, my favorite one. 2000 Upper Deck Legends Master Collection, numbered out of 50, with the five-time NBA champion on the bottom. BGS 95 with the 10 auto. How nice is that card?
Yeah, that's sweet. It's a nice bold signature.
Yeah, I mean they knocked it out of the park. Oh, that wasn't even intentional with the cycle, but
Cycle, nice.
they they crushed one for a grand slam with this design with in 2000, which explains why it's so collectible. So, yeah, I got these three, and let me tell you what I got them for in total. But what's your thought on these three magics?
I like that they all came from earlier eras because you can get plenty of Magic Johnson autographs in like modern day sets.
Oh yeah,
Something about though they're all upper deck, right?
yes, they actually are. Yep,
Yeah.
2000
Upper deck.
upper
Upper
deck.
deck basketball just slaps.
Yes, they crushed it. 2000 upper deck master collection. Then you have 0607 exquisite and 0405 ultimate collection. So I'm into the patch auto for 1100, the exquisite auto for 650, and the master collection BGS 95 for 700. So I felt pretty good about that. Dave felt good freeing up some money, and I feel like with the infrequency of sales on all those that I'll hold them for a while and enjoy them while I have them, and then when the right price comes along, I'll sell them or trade them.
Yeah. I
So,
like that you're adding Magic back in. I feel like you were losing some of the Magic in your
mm-hmm,
collection
mm-hmm.
by only being Bird, and
Yes.
you're going back to your roots.
Yeah, you have to
You're
have a little bit of bird and magic. I just feel like you
yeah
can't have bird without magic.
yeah you're literally and figuratively adding diversity to your collection.
Yes, you're right. You still have the
Nice.
magic touch with the verbiage.
Nice. There you
That was
go.
great. Well played.
Um, I do want to talk about working at the card shop. Just I'll touch upon that.
Yeah.
You love going to the card shop and just like chilling.
Yeah.
Like you do that anyway. So I'm doing that anyway. I'm just helping them list their cards on eBay and it's going swimmingly.
Hmm.
I'm having such a great time. I hang with the guys at the shop. When new cards come in, I get to look at them. I sell cards on eBay. It's fun to see them sell, like see the cards sell, and it's just like, the action.
Yeah.
It's fun to look on their eBay page from my phone and notice like, ooh, there's two less listings. Let's see what sold.
Okay.
So the fun but also challenging part is, the deal was I get a percentage of sales in store credit. So figuring out what I want to use that store credit on. Do I want to use it on PC stuff? Do I want to use it on stuff that I think I could flip and sell? So I think
Right.
here's a really nice mix of two cards that I picked up recently. One that I think I am going to keep and one that is more of a flip. Which one do you want to see first?
I want to see the flip first.
All right, 2022, 2023 Panini Flawless, chunky game worn patch, on card autograph, the gold out of 10. I don't think you're
Oh,
going to
I,
expect
I
this.
I know what this is. Yeah, I saw it on your story sale.
Desmond Bain, not really something that I would typically pick up,
Right.
but nice looking card, solid player. Why did I get this? Two reasons. One, I think the Grizzlies could make a little run. Maybe he'll have his moment.
Yeah.
Um, Three reasons actually. So that's one. I just see the potential and he's a great player.
Hmm.
Two, there are two others on eBay, and it's like one of them's on eBay for like 750 and the other one like 900. I was able to get this at 285 store credit.
That's good.
And this has never sold.
Wow, really?
The horizontal version of this card has sold around 240, 250. The vertical has not sold.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a few offers at 200. Nice thing is, again, I'm not into it for anything except for my time.
Yeah.
But I like Desmond Bain. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
And Grizzlies going a little run in the playoffs. It's a speculative play, and it's just a nice card. I mean, again, it's flawless.
Right. And for that
Top
cool
of
to
the
cost ratio, good cool to cost ratio on that one too.
for sure. And this one, I guess it's a PC card for now because it's not something that I'll be able to find again. 2016 Panini Baseball Diamond Kings. So
Whoa.
it is unlicensed,
Okay.
but it is a game used piece of the uniform numbered out of 15 of Lou Gehrig.
Wow.
Cool, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, Lou Gehrig stuff always sells pretty well, although it's unlicensed. I think this is a super cool card. It's numbered out of 15. And again, being able to use store credit on it and not pay for it, so fun. So fun for me. So,
Yeah.
two examples of how I've been able to build my collection. Um, Obviously, two very different cards with different agendas for each, but I'm racking up that store credit, so I'm putting it to good use.
And just a couple things on your two cards there, because I want to dive into that a little bit more. Lou Gehrig, not only legendary Yankee, but also I love people and players who have an iconic moment, one moment in their career. And at least for me, when he gave that speech at the ballpark, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth when he had what is now known as Lou Gehrig's disease. That's an what an iconic moment
Mhm.
for you look at that card, it has that classic look to it, and for me, I would remember that moment. Well, not literally, but wasn't born yet. But I
Yeah,
mean, just by being a little bit of a sports historian. And then Desmond Bain, the Grizzlies fourth in the Western Conference right now, and Desmond Bain is a very well compensated player. So he's averaging 18 and a half points a game, 6 rebounds, 5.5 assists. So hey, he's in the next tier, but
sure.
that's still a card that people would be interested in for
I think
sure.
so.
And by the way, he's making 34 million a year. Wow, good for
Not
him.
bad. Not bad. Maybe he'll buy this card. He
Yeah,
could afford it. He could
he,
afford it.
he could afford it. Yeah. So tell me about this map that you made. Speaking of your New York
Yeah.
City card store working and funding these cards, show me this map and then what motivated you to make it and the response that it's gotten, which has been amazing.
I've had this idea for a while. I just had to actually put it into place, but people visit New York City. It's an amazing city.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm very biased, but I think we could all agree, incredible city. And this hobby is worldwide. So people visit New York City. They want to go to sports card shops. Where do you go? Yes, you can go to Google. Sure, you could look on Instagram, but why not just have a one-stop shop that has everything? So I said, let me put together a map specifically of Manhattan, of card shops in Manhattan. Fortunately, there's only five, so it wasn't that difficult to put together. And that was the final product.
Yeah, that looks good.
So that is Manhattan. There's two Bleecker locations. There's Alex's MVP, which I work at. You got the brand new DA Card World. You got Monacy Comics. You tap it. All the stores are tagged.
Oh,
So
nice.
you click on them, brings you right to the address. And I've really gotten incredible feedback. So you know how you could see how many people save your post?
Hmm.
I had 84 people save this.
Wow.
I had someone from Italy message me recently, said, I will be visiting New York at the end of April, and your post helped a lot. I had people reposting it, and like, listen, my username is New York City Sports Cards, so I'm just trying to
Yeah,
do a good service and provide people with a one-stop shop for everything.
that's awesome. First of all, I'm shocked that there's only 5 card shops in
In
Manhattan.
Manhattan, in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, yeah.
I got to work on Brooklyn and Queens
Oh,
next.
you're gonna do all the boroughs?
I mean, listen, New York City, all boroughs matter.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I thought so. I don't get anything out of this except for satisfaction, really. And yeah, people
And
have used it,
and helping the hobby,
helping the hobby. That's what we're here
which I
for.
mean, I'm pretty sure you love doing that with your card club at school and the map and putting out podcasts every single week for 2 years straight. I think your
Spe
heart's in the
oh,
right place. Oh,
speaking of Card Club, it's still going. I gotta be honest, it's hanging on by a thread. I just don't really have a lot of participants. But
okay.
good news out of Card Club is you are familiar with DA Card World.
Yes, well, and I just got re-educated via my favorite map of New York City card shops.
But you know, they're a huge distributor. Like I used to buy
Yeah.
boxes from DA Cardinal when I was a kid, but now they have a new location, a new storefront. They had one in Buffalo, now they have one in New York City. The
Okay.
temporary shop is literally next to the Empire State Building. And they're gonna have a bigger shop right down the road from there. Honestly, like right by Madison Square Garden. My very good friend Steve is the general manager of that store.
Wow.
Very good enough friend, as in like invited to his wedding. So
Okay.
thanks for the save the date, Steve. So he's the general manager there, and one of my card club students, Christian, who I didn't know he collected cards until after he graduated from my school, but
Okay.
he's an avid collector. He's like basically card club alumni, but he shows up to meetings, he goes to field trips. He started working at DA Card World part time,
Okay.
you know, just behind the counter doing his thing. But he graduated from college last year, and his major was videography and like video editing and all that. And
Okay.
he is now working full time, a full time job with benefits and everything at DA Card World, not only in the retail space, but in content creation as well.
Wow. Good for Christian.
Yeah, so I mean, that cool moment for me. New shop, a great friend of mine, Steve, is the general manager. He hired Christian. Christian's doing an amazing job, and now Christian, who's not that far removed from college, is making a career out of his skill set and the hobby, like a legitimate full-time job. So I'm super happy for him. Happy to make those connections, and awesome shop if you're ever in New York.
Wow. That's such a great moment, like you said, for you. And I'm curious, what happened to Christian? How did he slip through the cracks of joining Card Club in high school?
I caught when he, so 2018 was my first year teaching at this current school. He was a senior.
Mm.
That was 2018. I didn't start card club until 2021.
Okay, so it didn't even exist yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay. But he's an emeritus. He's a Card Club emeritus.
He is a diehard, passionate collector. Loves the hobby. Big Yankees fan.
That's great, bro. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I had a couple other things that I want, a couple other lots that I bought, but I feel like this is good. Feel like we're at a good place. We illustrated that we hit for the cycle. And basically, now my cycle is reinvesting a lot of that $7,100 I made from my home run, or at least for me, a home run digital sale into like just stuff that I really, really, really like. Like it's hard to make the cut for me to it's getting harder and harder for things to make the cut for what I would buy, even to flip. Because like you said, our time is valuable and I don't want to waste time getting cards that I wouldn't be okay with sitting on for a while, that I
Yeah.
enjoy now. That they're not PC cards, but they're, collection for the time being until it's time to move them, until the right price comes along or the right trade. So just one more example of I got these from my guy AO Cards,
Hmm.
a great guy in the hobby, and it's cool because buying and selling with each other, we've started developing more of a relationship, more of a friendship, talking about cards outside of just a transaction, which I really
Nice.
enjoy. Like, oh,
I
that
like
card's,
that.
great card. Oh yeah, I love this set. Kind of like how we used to talk and still do, but used to before we started the podcast, like, oh, similar styles and going back and forth. So check this out though. This dual game used flawless patch out of 10, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Now you would think it might be common to see these cards, but there are not very many, especially high-end brands like Flawless, not very many dual game used patches of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
I was
So,
surprised to hear that, to see that that was game used.
yeah,
It's
right?
get it was giving me player worn vibes.
That's how nice the patches are.
Yeah. Because
So,
I feel like you see that a lot with modern football products.
yeah,
So sneaky game used on that. Very nice.
sneaky game used, and so I really like this one. Another set, I was explaining this to my girlfriend as well, who was
Hmm.
intently
I'm
listening
sure. Yeah.
in that cycle of her, you know, conversation with me. But this Vince Carter Ink Readable, I was telling her about the Ink Readable set, 1999, Upper Deck again, BGS 95, no auto grade, but still very cool. And then SP Authentic. How about this? PSA 9 with a 10 auto. Johnny Unitas autograph, sign of the times, the first great quarterback.
Love Side of the Times too. SP Authentic, classic set.
Yep. I love the Jim Brown in this set also. But
Sweet.
yeah, super cool set. Maybe like the George Mikan, if you were to compare to basketball, Johnny Unitas of football.
Johnny Unitas to George Mikan.
Come on, first,
I'm not
first,
I'm not I'm
first
not
great
educated.
star.
Okay. I'm not educated enough on either to agree or disagree with that comparison, but I'll do my homework later.
I would love to see in the comments what people think about that comparison or any of the things that we've discussed on this episode. So I got another 8 card lot, but I'll save that maybe for the next time. But it's similar stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that I'm buying right now that doesn't sell much, unique, and like we always talk about, what are the things that we can buy that somebody else, if they PC that team or that player, would consider a collection item? And if
Hmm.
I'm a Colts fan, I would consider this Johnny Unitas a collector's item. If I'm a NBA, Toronto Raptors, or Vince Carter fan, I would consider this a collector's item. If I'm a Baltimore Ravens or just an NFL in general, great defensive player, all-time great collector, I would consider this dual flawless patch a collection. Not that I'm trying to sell my stuff right now. I know that's why you're laughing, but
No, I was laughing at like, do you think there's someone out there who has a like a great NFL defensive players PC?
probably.
You think someone out there, for example, basketball only PCs like power forwards?
I'm gonna bring this cycle back around and I'm gonna say it's more likely that somebody PCs NFL defensive player all-time greats than somebody who's named David Davidson.
Mm.
That's more likely. But I would say, so what about like Lawrence Taylor or I
Yeah,
guess
but
you could
imagine only defense. You think someone out there only collects
only
defense?
defense. They're like Warren Sapp.
Oh, he has a passing touchdown in his career? No, thank you.
No offensive participation at all. So Mike Vrabel would be out. You can't have him catching touchdowns. But
Mm.
like I could see that Brian Urlacher, think of some of those all time. You could well, I don't know if Deion Sanders would make the cut playing both ways. So
Mm.
you'd have to draw the line somewhere. But Charles Woodson, there's a lot of great defensive players who would be cool guys to get.
Right on. I have one last point to make.
Yeah, let's do it.
My sister, she lives in Brooklyn with her husband and her kids. Um, Her next door neighbor, they have like their apartments are next to each other. So one day, many months ago, her next door neighbor, this older guy, Kenny, he's got 2 kids as well. He was trying to move a couch to his backyard, but the only way to do so was through my sister's apartment. So
Okay.
basically knocked on her door, was like, I need you guys help here.
Yeah.
They brought it to my sister's apartment to bring it around back, to bring it to their backyard. And somehow in that interaction, we found out that he had a card collection.
Wow.
So I don't know, it's probably 6 to 8 months ago at this point. So we were in like communication here and there, like him sending me pictures of what he has, talking about the grading process. And he's like, I sent a few things to SGC. I sold them, but I kind of just broke even. I'm like, Kenny, like, I got you. I got you. So yada, yada, yada. He came up to where I live on the Upper East Side, and we met at a Starbucks a couple weeks ago. He brought all the stuff with him. We spent an hour and a half, and we sorted through all the stuff. He was loving it. He was loving every second of it. He was having a blast. He was having a blast, as was I.
Hmm.
And eventually, fortunately, Bleecker Trading was having a PSA drop-off event, which think is kind of self-explanatory. Instead of having to mail your cards to PSA, you
Hmm.
bring them to Bleecker, and PSA just gets the cards for you.
Right.
They take them to their headquarters to grade them for you. Ultimately, the only cost you save is you shipping to them, but there's also the convenience, obviously, and the not worry that it arrives. So I'm
Right.
like, Kenny, this is great timing. Let's look through your stuff. Let's send some cards in for grading. I'll drop them. I'll drop them off for you. And his thing was, I don't even want the cards back. I just send them into grading. PSA offers the feature. I don't know if you knew this, where you could just sell it right on eBay through PSA. So
Oh wow.
you never actually get the cards back. You send them to PSA, they grade them, they get sent to the PSA vault, and
Hmm.
PSA lists them on eBay, and you get the funds.
Wow.
So
That's simple.
we sat through, I've never done it, I'm excited, but we sat through his whole collection, although we didn't really hit everything. He's got a bunch of like vintage autograph cards. That's a whole nother task. And we're like, all right, Kenny, like, let's send some stuff into grading. Obviously, I was using Card Ladder. I'm like, let's figure out what's going to be worth it. You don't want to spend $25 to grade something that's going to sell for 30.
Hmm.
So ultimately, I dropped off 8 cards for him. Here, you probably have no idea where I'm going with this. Here are the first two, a classic,
Oh, great.
right? So two of those, 1980 scoring leaders, Bird, Irving, Magic Johnson. He has two of them.
Yeah, let me show mine, the autograph version.
Yeah, that don't please don't ever get rid of that card.
No, this is like something, especially with how much it costs for these guys to sign this card nowadays. I'm not gonna get rid
Yeah.
of that.
A little bit lower end stuff. Same set. No Bird, Irving, Magic, and Jean Van Breda Kolf. I don't know if you're familiar with that card. And then you'll like this one, a Bird,
Nice.
1980, just
Eight
just his.
or
And
81, right?
I believe so. And
Yeah,
then some
because the next
baseball.
year. Yeah.
And some
You know
baseball.
those birds are very rare in high grades, so that could be a big money.
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't think it's
I
gonna
know
be a
they're
suit.
they're really tough grades, but
I don't think it's just going to be super high grade, but even in like a 5 or 6, we should do all right. And then
yeah,
some baseball cards, George Brett rookie, 1955, Harmon Killebrew, and sat down. We got them prepped. I dropped them off to PSA. PSA is going to sell everything. He just wants the funds. He's going to give me 10%, which I think is very reasonable. And
nice.
that's kind of like my first little official card consultant type deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. He loved every second of it, as did I. I mean, who doesn't like to look through someone's collection? And the fact that he didn't even want the cards back, he's just like, sell them, let's get some money out of this. I'm like, done. Let's make it happen.
That's great.
So
So
they're in the grading process now. And yeah, I guess we'll come back and see how they do in sales wise. I trust PSA with them listing cards on auction more than me. I am sure PSA's direct eBay account will probably get more eyeballs than if I sold them on eBay myself. So let them take care of it.
but you are a very successful eBay seller for those unique cards.
Unique. Not what we're working with here.
Yeah, don't tell Kenny that though.
He knows the deal. He knows the deal.
Well,
Um,
great. So that cycle of your cards is also consulting, part-time hobby work, and helping out a friend.
There you go. I've had 4 people in the last 3 weeks tell me that they have a Pokemon card collection that they want to grade. So, but they're more like like not that Kenny's not a friend, don't get me
He's
wrong,
an
but
acquaintance. He's a moving
yeah,
acquaintance. He's a sister's neighbor. Come on.
yeah, these are more like longtime friends. So I'm just talking them through the process of grading Pokemon cards. That's pro bono work.
That's great, bro. I've gotten a few, actually quite a few messages from friends who notice like we're posting on our story or see some stuff on Facebook, Instagram, and then ask more questions. And it's kind of cool to be somebody that people go to enjoy having fun through sports and sports cards a little bit more.
Yeah, man, it's a great hobby. It really is. So I'm glad to see you've found this rejuvenated, sense of energy and passion towards it.
Thanks,
Keep
bro.
on, keeping the that notebook of yours.
Yeah, I know. I got it right here. Ready to see
And
what notes, if I have any notes on how to close a sports card podcast in here, but I haven't seemed to find them just yet.
well, we've hit a we're rounding home.
Yep.
We're sorry, we're rounding third on our way
We're
to home.
we're rounding home into the dugout.
into the dugout as we close off here. I'm setting up at a show on March 30th. I have not set up at a show in probably a year and a half.
Wow.
See if I still got it. I'm relying heavily on value bins. We will see how that works out. We're talking just like baseball refractors and stuff like that. Like I am like Tony Gwynn to the max with that.
All right. You might even be bunting at that point.
Listen, as long as I get on base.
That's right. That's a good point. So you know what that means? At some point after the end of this month, or maybe the next few months, we'll need to come on here and have another episode.
I have your information.
All right, bro. Sounds good. We'll be in touch. But
Okay.
fun to hop back on the mic. Thank you to anybody giving us another swing at the plate for a listen on any podcast platforms or YouTube. And we'll be back, at some point, whenever we get up to bat again.
Hobby cycle.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Ah, we still got it.
Still got it.